Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Lupe Mendez. I am a poet and an educator living in Houston, Texas. And this is my poem, Rules at the Juan Marcos Huelga School, even the unspoken ones. This should be posted in every classroom until the end of the school year. 1. No more than one child out of the classroom at one time. They might run away, a monarch butterfly tugged in the direction of the wind. 2. The upstairs classes will not make excess noise because there are no walls between classes, and the noise carries downstairs too. Noise that needs to be made should flame out in a bonfire, out of the roof, where sunlight can hear it all. 3. Any mothers coming into class, send them to the principal's office unless they are teachers' helpers. They need to go to help the principal birth a school that can speak and spell the words revolucion and work and hands and huelga. 4. No running in the hallways or stairways. Wait for nighttime, children, when you can run and race around in the dark, in the cool of the trees, yelling you caught a star on the tip of your tongue. Then you realize you ran around till morning, and it is the dew on the tips of tree leaves you taste. 5. No screaming or shouting in the classrooms, hallways, or stairways. Shout on paper, write boldly, in a book, in the middle of an open field, in the street, in the classroom. Make sure your voice shrills. 6. No throwing of paper or trash on the floor. In my class, I will teach you to throw Molotov cocktails, bright orange ones that whistle in the air. And when they smash on those crazy school laws, they will burst in a bright yellow, the scent of lemon, burnt wood that will take over for a few days. 7. No one can go to Papa Burger. In the future, the streets are still the same. And in December, on a Tuesday afternoon in 2016, one of your descendants will be stabbed, merely for standing in the day. The North Side knows scar, knows body, when it needs to mourn. 8. If you take your class to the park, be sure that everyone crosses the street going and coming. Move in packs. March the streets together. Keep the body flickering. Make the voice resist. Quiet. This going, this coming is resistance. 9. All shirts will be buttoned. This is how we mean business. You come to school bien fino, and we will teach you the four winds, the reason we are always armed to the touch of a blade. We are always blades bien filosos. 10. Be sure that your classroom is reasonably clean before you let the class out at the end of the day. One day, all these classrooms will no longer hold any of us. Leave no evidence we were here. We exist in the whisper, the tender cinnamon strings in the muscle. Marcha ya. So the background behind the poem, as of this recording, I am currently working on a project where I am investigating and looking at the research behind desegregation here in Houston, Texas. Popular history tells us that desegregation began in the 60s, but not every city in every state followed civil rights laws at the time, and many states, especially in the South, found ways to have loopholes in rulings. So here in Houston, desegregation for the entire school district didn't occur until August 31st of 1971. 72, excuse me. No, I lie. 1970, my mistake. Because of that, 50 years ago, this year is actually the 50th anniversary, the desegregation law placed here was listed under a busing system. So African American students in predominantly black schools were bused with quote unquote white students from several other schools where the population was actually Mexican American. And so desegregation occurred only with Mexican and black students across the district. A majority of white kids weren't affected by the ruling. So as a result, Mexican American families, Mexican students, caught wind and figured out that they were being used as a pawn and decided to strike. They boycotted the school district in August 31st of 1970. 3,000 Mexican American students did not go to public school. What was created in the time were several community schools organized and run by local community members out of different spaces, dance halls, local YMCA's, churches, community centers, and students were being taught by student teachers, so folks who were getting their degrees in education, retired teachers, teachers who were pulling double shifts that were teaching in the day and then coming after school to teach kids in the afternoons, parents, grandparents, volunteers for different organizations and nonprofits. So it was a community effort to show the school district that they needed to make a precise and equitable desegregation plan that included all the students. So as a result, I've been researching what this history is like, and created this poem out of the actual set of rules that were posted at the Juan Marcos Huelga School. Juan Marcos was a Presbyterian church on our north side of town, whose clergy was both Latino and parishioners were all Mexican Americans on that side of town. And so the community got together, the church volunteered its space, and then allowed classes to happen in church pews, in other classes that they had for vocational studies, and for Sunday school. And so they organized this as a full functioning school that ran for approximately 2 years. It took about 3 years for the Houston Independent School District to fix its error. And then they created a more amicable desegregation plan at the time. Hope you enjoyed the poem. Yeah, take care.